The goodies.
Got it. And done. All righty, y'all. Peace and greetings to y'all. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Brother Hasan Ghaziel Bey here in Morocco at Northwest of Maxim. How are you? Guys, I'd like to welcome you to our 7-day. I'm sorry, forgive me. It's AstroCivics Sunday. I'm thinking about the 7-day tropical medical astro weather report. This is AstroCivics Sunday, our Holy Koran Devotional, right? This is AstroCivics Sunday number 47 for our Holy Koran Devotional countdown. We're at chapter 27 right now, guys. And I'm here with our magnificent and beloved brother, in whom we are well pleased, and he is...
Islam, peace and love to you all. Happy Sunday, happy Soul Day. Brother Hasan L. You already know that all is well. And I have a couple of different, nicknames or different appellations they like to say here and there, but the main one though I'll be forgetting. Bro, what was that? What was that, John?
Let's get it. That's always fun, guys. All right, we're going to jump right into this, guys. We're not going to waste any time. Let's go and do our invocation, and we're going to extend all 5 appendages on the left hand. It's the index in the middle on the right. We're going to stand on a 45-degree angle as far as our feet are concerned, right? Standing on a 45. And we're going to face east, which is metaphysically symbolic to going within, all right? And we're going to recite here on page 48 of the Moor Holy Temple of Science, Administrative Functions, just below Prophet Noble Drali, standing due guard, handsomely standing due guard. Just below him is our invocation in terms of the Moorish American prayer, right? And so, again, we're going to extend all 5 appendages on the left hand, just the index in the middle on the right. I want to face east, and you guys can repeat after me, either aloud or in your heart. Islam.
Islam.
Islam, Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My guide.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
To his holy prophet.
To his holy prophet.
Noble Drew Ali.
Noble Drew Ali.
Amen. All righty, y'all. Let us get it. Right? We're going to the first letter to be read in every meeting, and I yield the floor to our beloved brother, in whom we're well pleased, but Hasan Islam.
Islam, all right. The following is a letter written by Prophet Noble Drew Ali on the 18th day of January, 1928, Anno Domini. He commanded that it be read before every meeting.
All
right, it's from Administrative Functions. All right, Moor Science Temple of America, Home Office 3603, Indiana Avenue, Noble Drew Ali, founder. Chicago, Illinois, January 18th, 1929. To be proclaimed in every meeting. Dear brother, Islam, I am glad to know that I have few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement, now by the same people of our side that claim it was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as an American citizen, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they themselves may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that contribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that pay their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I'm calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance, and I need it bad. Never before have I needed finance as badly as I do at present. that I may shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility, quote unquote. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without me, the prophet, being the head. It has been proven by my work in which I have performed in the last few months, because I was at the governor's inauguration to represent, some would say represent, the Moorish Divine and National Movement, and I will be at the inauguration of President Hoover for the same cause, Noble Drew Ali.
Islam. Now we're going to the Moorish literature, excerpts from the Moorish Guide newspaper on pages 12 and 13. And again, as we see, handsomely standing do guard his prophet Noble Drew Ali and his Moorish Sharifs Fez and Abba. And divine warning by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. Prophet warns all Muslim governors ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work in their homes or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their cardin button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where the prophet found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Drew Ali, and if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Right? Guys, we're going to jump right here to the Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, doing religious corporate activity by affidavit, adopting as its corporate name, of course, Moorish Science Temple of America. All right, we're at chapter 27, right? The holy unity of the rich and the poor is what we're about to get into. Peaceful greetings to you, Brother Derek Bey, Mother Sahar L. Peaceful greetings to you also, and Islam to you all. Mother Janelle Blash L. Islam, Mother, and JLB says evening greetings, everyone. Indeed, JLB. All righty, guys. Let's get right into it. In the fashion that we do it, Brother Sean's going to go in. All righty. And do the reading, and I'm going to, I'm serious, member. I'm going to be doing my ad-libbing. All right, so I yield the floor to our beloved brother, and whom well please, Brother Sean Mel, Islam.
Islam, all right, here we go. Chapter 27, the holy unity of the rich and poor. The man to whom Allah hath given riches, and blessed with a mind to employ them aright, is peculiarly favored and highly distinguished.
Look at that. So the mind to whom all balanced law pertaining to the zodiac has given riches and blood sacrificed with a mind to employ them aright, right? So the blood sacrifice is like, okay, I guess with ye coming to this plane through your mother's stargate, there's a little bit of a sacrifice of blood that could possibly be lost, through manifesting. So we don't want you to think there's some like bloodletting going on by sacrificing animals or something to that sort, right? So with that being said, right, this is what we are looking at here now. So as a means of us really just thinking about the term to whom much is given, much is tested. Type of energy, or with great power comes great responsibility. And with that, I yield the floor, bro. Islam.
All right. 2, he looketh on his wealth with pleasure, because it affordeth him the means to do good.
Exactly. So, hey, the reason to have wealth, the reason to be pleasured with your wealth is to afford you the means to do good. Period. That's what's supposed to be done with the wealth. I yield, bro. Islam.
3, he protecteth the poor that are injured. He suffereth not the mighty to oppress the weak.
Indeed. So again, with as we think, pertaining to when beings may know some things or not know some things that we may know and or not know. I'm just really thinking to ourselves that, really thinking to myself, right? When it comes to assisting people that may not know what we know. So the best we can do with the wealth pertaining to knowledge that we have is be able to share these things accordingly, right? And assist everyone accordingly the best that we can. All right. So with that being said, guys, I hope we're already seeing a theme here is, the reason why to whom much is given, much is tested. The test comes when you're not just having a mindset aligned with just doing good, doing right, assisting people who sincerely can use your help with, and that's people that, would like to do things on their own or may need a boost or something in a certain area, not to be someone who just wants to kind of like, always use you as a crutch, so to speak, right? And I think most people, if they knew that there is an actual sincere energy out there, when it comes to being able to help people with the wealth pertaining to knowledge that is out there, having the resources that's needed is more than easy to come across. It's just much easier to do so with people that have the same mindset. Now you yield the floor, bro. Islam.
All right. 4. He seeketh out objects of compassion. He inquireth into their wants. He relieveth them with judgment and without ostentation. 5. He assisteth and rewardeth merit. He encourageth ingenuity and liberally promoteth every useful design.
So that means, looking for the best that's in others and giving them the best that's in oneself, right? Looking for the best in others and giving the best that's in one's self. All right. I yield the floor, beloved brother Islam.
All right. He carrieth his own great works. His country is enriched, and the labor is employed. He formeth new schemes, and the arts receive improvement.
I mean, this is what people do. Like, I know, and this is one of the reasons why I know it's coming for, myself, my loved ones, my brothers, and that is, an abundance pertaining to resources. Even though we know that we're not the ones so-called qualified to utilize the military script, we know that it's a tool and look at it that way. So even if we were to what people think outside of the mindset that we have, they got millions of dollars or they're a billionaire or something like that. We know to use what people outside of our thinking, they look at as billions of dollars. We know that these is just a means, which are tools, which allow us and afford us the means to do good. Period. That's it. That's all. Right. And that's why I know, and I'm saying here up front, first and foremost, I know that there's going to be an abundance that's, entrusted with I and my loved ones and my brothers, because we can really allow ourselves to do everything that we thought of. You know what I'm saying? I know already based on my natal chart as well as my heart that that's what I'm supposed to use the wealth for. And that's not to, let me give this for you so you can take care of this and take it. No. What we're supposed to do is have everything that we need in perpetuity without ever thinking, there's going to be no electricity, or there's going to be no water, or there's going to be no gas. No, it's to be able to have things in perpetuity, period. That's how the wealth is going to be used. And that's why there is glimpses of it with what we do have and what we do share. And we're doing that already. All right. I yield the floor, Islam.
Ooh, all right. He considers the superfluities of his table as belonging to the poor of his neighborhood, and he defraudeth them not.
Islam. Islam. I mean, that is love. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because that's somebody that's looking at things being all of a part of all our ancestral estate. I yield, Islam.
The benevolence of his mind is not checked by his fortune. He rejoiceth therefore in riches, and his joy is blameless.
Check that out, though. The benevolence pertaining to one's mind is not checked by his fortune. So there was benevolence pertaining to the mind prior to having a fortune, so to speak, in terms of billions and things of that nature, or trillions. So the finance isn't making the man. Finance isn't making the mind. So one rejoices, therefore, in riches. And his joy is blameless. Why is he rejoicing? Because he's able to do for others. Period. I yield the floor. Islam.
But woe unto him that heapeth up wealth and abundance, and rejoiceth alone in the possession thereof, that grindeth the face of the poor, and considereth not the sweat of their brows.
So now you see, here's the, you saw minutes 1 through 8 was about, this is what is honorable. This is what is beautiful when one does this with wealth, right? However, if you're opposite, if you have a mindset opposite pertaining to knowing that you're having your wealth as a means to assist others, then what that actually means then is, you need to kind of get out of there with it. You know what I'm saying? You need to leave things alone, leave people alone. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you shouldn't have the wealth that you have, because now you're not even recognizing what's in the chapter after this one, which we've already done and counting down, is that, well, really two chapters after this one, which is 29, because we're on 27. And that is the fact that ye equals raised you to sovereign power, right? So to hoard wealth for oneself is not looking back again, which is disrespect, not looking back again at those that put one in that position. And that's what the issue is and always has been. All right. I yield the floor, beloved. Brother Islam.
He driveth on oppression without failing. The ruin of his brother disturbeth him not.
Cold-blooded.
Icebox where his heart is right now.
Basically.
The tears of the orphan he drinketh as milk. The cries of the widow are music to his ears. His heart hardened with the love of wealth. No grief or distress can make impression upon it.
This is someone who is in the principles opposite pertaining to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I yield.
But the curse of iniquity pursueth him. He liveth in continual fear. The anxiety of his mind and the rapacious desires of his own soul take vengeance upon him for the calamities he has brought upon others.
So you can't even enjoy that wealth. You got this wealth in abundance, but you're not being able to rejoice really because you thought you could just keep it to yourself, and it's not meant to have that way. That's the thing. That's what's so funny about it. To whom much is given, much is tested, because the test is, are you going to be one that heaps up wealth in abundance and try to rejoice, alone in the possession thereof? Then it wasn't meant for you. I yield.
It's like that saying too. Well, like a bunch of rich folks or whatever aren't happy. And like, how can you have all this wealth and you're not happy? Because they're not sharing it. You know what I'm saying? They think it's, I gotta get this bag and I gotta hold it to me, and you know what I'm saying? It's like you're supposed to share that, uplift each other. But I yield. 14. Oh, what are the miseries of poverty in comparison with the gnawings of this man's heart?
That.
Let the poor man comfort himself. Yes, rejoice, for he hath many reasons.
Look at that.
He sitteth down to his morsel in peace. His table is not crowded with flatterers and devourers. It's like, yeah, man, I can enjoy this meal. I ain't got to worry about these fake folks over here only flatter because I got bread, and those who just hoping something drop to eat. It's like I'm able to eat in peace.
Wow.
Right? Instead of that continual fear. All right. 17. He is not embarrassed with a train of dependents, nor teased with the clamors of solicitations.
Wow. I mean, you just said it, bro. He doesn't have those quote unquote problems. Seems like more money, more problems. The problems are only for those that are seeking to hoard the wealth. So it seems like the one who hoards up wealth is in a worse position than someone who's poor. I yield.
All right. 18. Debarred from the dainties of the rich, he escapeth also their diseases.
Look at that. Look at that. Because he doesn't have many things bombarding his mind or his body, right? Because those that are rich but have to deal with dis-ease is because they're hoarding the wealth and abundance. I yield.
The bread that he eateth is not so sweet to his taste. The water he drinketh is not so pleasant to his thirst. Yeah, far more delicious water than the richest draughts of the luxurious.
Yeah, so it's asking questions. The bread that he eateth is not so sweet to his taste. The water he drinks is not so pleasant to his thirst. Yeah, it's far more delicious water than the richest draughts or droughts of the luxurious, because he does it. He has a peace of mind. Period. I yield, bro. Islam.
His labor preserveth his health, and procureth him a repose, to which the downy bed of sloth is a stranger.
So yeah, so he's able to stay in shape. The reason he's able to stay in shape is because he's not allowing himself, to be stagnant, be slothy, having to sit still. You know what I'm saying? Having to, take on the pain of being inactive. I yield.
He limiteth his desires with humility, and the calm of contentment is sweeter to his soul than all the acquirements of wealth and grandeur.
Islam, which makes the so-called poor man wealthier than someone who heaps up wealth in abundance to keep it to themselves. The so-called poor man may not have the outside wealth, but there's this inner wealth that one has, which means he'll then attract the wealth to him. I yield.
Let not the rich, therefore, presume on his riches, nor the poor and his poverty yield to despondence. For the providence of Allah, all balanced law pertaining to the zodiac, dispenseth happiness to them both.
Wow. So they both get happiness according to who they are. It just depends on, are they using their minds to be appreciative for what they have? The rich man becomes poor when not appreciating the abundance that he has to help others. Having that abundance and not helping others makes the richest man the poorest man on earth. The poorest man on earth that still seeks to do good, be sincere, be pure heart, be sincere, intent, be love, be honor, is far more wealthy than the man who has heaped up riches and abundance for himself and not share it. The poor man has way more wealth. Because at the end of the day, the happiness really is dependent upon helping others. Not helping others to be taken advantage of. Helping others because you're looking at the long term. You're looking at the future. You're looking to have things that are stable, so to speak, within the community, within home, because it's within self, the stability is taking place first, then within home, then within the neighborhood, and so forth, as far out as one can be able to assist in securing mothers and sons, sisters and brothers. Going back to the chat here, Mother Sahar says, that's a sincere and honorable heart. Brother Derek Blash Bay says, more of a caregiver, unconditional. Indeed to you both. Open 642 says, greetings. Mother Sahar says, wow. Yes, a hard heart. Yes, for those that, are kind of, uptight or even if they're like begrudging givers, like they're giving, but they still have these reservations about how they're giving. And it doesn't come off as one, the reservation just kind of seems like it's a means to control beings with what they give.
Right. It's like we used to ask somebody for something. They're like, ugh, here. You know what I'm saying? And give you like 2 cookies, even though they got like a whole box. Ugh, here, asking for stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, don't give me anything if it upsets you. Anarchy AR Studios, Kevin Blaze Moore L says, Islam, noble Muslim, Islam. Brother Blaze, right? C. Thomas says, Islam to you, brother. Brother Derek Blash Bay says, a great state of mind, indeed. Mother Sahar says, indeed. And Brother C. Thomas says, not helping others to be taken advantage of. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're here to help and assist. And it's funny because I'm just going to be straight up. I've always been that type, you know what I'm saying? And give and help to the point where a lesson I had to learn. And even at this age of being 39 sun cycles complete, out of my mother's womb right now within my 40th sun cycle. And it stems back to something, and my brothers always remind me of it too. It's like, hey man, stop sharing your lunch ticket. So there was a time I was I think it was kindergarten, and I had a friend named Marshall, right? Me and Marshall were pretty tight from my memory and what I think and thought then. I was about 5 years old in kindergarten. And this is why I had to learn not share my lunch ticket, while at the same time I still felt the need to help. But this is what do not share your lunch ticket means. This has been a huge lesson for me. It's not just at 5, but I had the reoccurrence of it happening because sometimes I'm generous to a fault at times. So I have to even check how generous I am. Because some people will only want to take advantage of my generosity so that they can get themselves ahead in a certain way. And they don't even think twice to think about me or to double back, right? They're only in a mode of selfishness, not knocking it, not coming down in my explanation. I'm just giving background and foreground. I'm giving you guys, the room to be within. And so just imagine it's with me. So I'm 5 years old, and Marshall doesn't have any lunch. He says he doesn't have any finance, any lunch ticket, and I will never forget this. But in my intelligent stupidity, I know, right? It sounds very oxymoronic for me to say my intelligent stupidity. I ripped my lunch ticket in half. Yo, every time I think of that, yo, I promise you what I'm about to say next was letting me know that this is probably a lesson for me, period, because I've seen in older age that it happened. Me and Marshall both end up with no lunch. Now, a lot of you probably already said, well, why didn't you do this instead? And this I'm about to say. I should have just got my fucking lunch and split the lunch. I'm being so generous. I'm going to be, I'm going to be brotherly to this brother. I'm 5 years old. And in my intelligent stupidity, I split the lunch ticket, and me and Marshall both ended up with not eating lunch that day. Until I cried my eyes out and then explained why I did what I did. The funny part is we're 5 and not one adult, right? Not one being older than us comprehended what was being done until there were tears coming from my eyes, explaining why I did what I did. And even though I thought it was something right, would you believe, you don't have to, I still kind of got a reprimand from my mother. It wasn't like how I speak to, I am my beloved mother, mistress, consorts, little ones. Like, we can converse with our little ones and explain the difference. Hey, we know, we can see that this is probably what you mean, or hey, tell us what you were thinking in that moment when you did X, Y, and Z. I didn't get that. I got, why would you do something stupid like that? That's what I got. You see what I'm saying? But still to this day, man, I ain't gonna front. I think of that shit like, man, I gotta stop sharing my lunch ticket. Get my fucking lunch and split it. I don't know why I didn't think that. It's funny. I kind of did it a lot over these last 9 years, and with taking nationality and birthrights seriously. I split my lunch ticket. And what I should have done is put myself in a position like in the beginning of chapter 27 here. I should have got the riches first and used my mind to employ them all right. I had the ticket, I had the riches, but I didn't employ it correctly. I had the riches and it was like, here, man, let's both get a lunch. And that didn't work. I should have went and got the lunch, brought it back. Marshall didn't even think of that. I didn't really get it till after I declared and proclaimed my nationality and was analyzing my own astrology chart and reading the Quran and looking at other books from RV Bay publications. And then I had that flash one day as I'm like, in deep contemplation. And I'm like, wow, I've been sharing my fucking lunch ticket. And that never really works. Right? Melissa Hart says, yes, you have always been like that since I've known you. Indeed, mother. Indeed, mother. Brother Dark Blash Bay says, people pleasing was my lesson, right? Gotta stop going and best to please people. Melissa Hart says, what mean lunch person denied 2 children lunch? Hey, I'm trying to tell you, I will never forget that. What'd you say, bro?
I said, that's what I'm saying. Like, you really gonna deny the children lunch? Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and there's been times where, over these last 9 years, taking nationality and birthright seriously, looking to be there to assist other Moors and help them, because I'm thinking it's a collective effort. And then I recognize how elders don't really get along. They'll come out in the forefront on camera and stuff and act like they'll get along, but they would rather say, we're not going to air out our dirty laundry in public, but I can see it. We can see that it's a dog and pony show. We can see that these beings don't get along with these beings because of whatever happened when they were coming up, when they are our ages, whatever silly decisions they made. And now they're in older age, not unified. I don't want to practice that lifestyle. So that's why, been sharing as much as I've been sharing and things of that nature. However, when it comes to, if there's a means for me to be able to get what I know I need to get, because sharing my lunch ticket doesn't help me or anyone else out. So it's best for me to take the lunch ticket, riches, and allow my mind to be blissed, or allow me to be blissed with the mind to employ that said lunch ticket appropriately. That's like back in the day in high school, you knew you was getting a job somewhere and you just got hired and you about to start your first day, and your homies find out where you about to work and they're like, yo, can you get me up there? The answer is no. At this point in my life, the answer is absolutely no. But, let me get my foot in the door, And then, have to deal with if beings go, well, I want to spout out this disappointment because you didn't do what I thought you should have done for me. And that's what I mean, where there are people who only want your help. And if you don't do it how they see it, then now they not your friend no more. It's like, okay. Same thing when it comes to the Moorish movement. A lot of people want to, let's talk about things behind the scenes and not on camera. And let's have a private room where it's unfiltered and all these other things. And it's like, what is it really going to change? There's a lot of mess that's been done outright on YouTube, put out there, showed on Facebook, but people want to resolve it in private. But if you took a shit in front of everybody on stage, why do you want everybody to leave so it can be cleaned up? Oh, everybody need to leave so I can clean it up. We need to clean it up in private. You didn't shit in private. That was one of the biggest things for me in 2016, 2017, especially when I did my astrology workshop and I saw what elders came and what elders didn't. I remember when I was, and I asked, hey, I wonder if I had Brother Taj seal these documents for these Moors near the Maryland State Republic, and then I'll just send the documents to be put on file with Anaida. And what came to me was, why the fuck would you do that? Literal response. And that's when I realized these elders don't get along. I get it. Oh, we all have sums to solve. People say quippy things that are convenient to try to save them from the embarrassment, but yet they'll be quick to want to embarrass you. But when it comes to them having to be accountable for their actions and the things they have not resolved, they're very quiet, or they try to use a countenance as if, they're so elder and this, and, the people will just be blind and forget. They'll just respect that I've been this and done these accomplishments. Like, okay. All right. Mother Sahar says, excellent lesson. Over 642 says, valuable life lesson. Indeed. JLV says, someone prioritizing following the rules and regulations over children's needs. Exactly. That's the type of lunch beings that there were. It took the principal to hear it out. And then the lunch that they served, they didn't even give us. They ended up giving us some subpar crap. I think it was like peanut butter and jelly and a carton of milk. And man, that was you remember the days where you was waiting on those buttery biscuits with the mac and cheese? Those school days in elementary
here
school.
We go. Taste the biscuit.
I know,
Taste
right?
the biscuit with the honey sauce.
Right? I think it was the mac and cheese, the biscuits and the fish sticks or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? It was like, oh, sniggity snaps. Right? School lunch, right? Didn't know any better. But it is what it is. Right? Mother Sahara says, correct, JLV, right? And Mother Sahara is laughing, says facts. Brother C. Thomas says Islam, but Dark Black Space says absolutely. And Mother Sahara says, no, they don't. They do not get along. I know, Mother, they do not get along. And that's one of the things that I realized. I was like, oh, okay. People just doing lectures and selling books. So that they really wanted to get along. People would be at each other's platforms and really working together. It wouldn't just be, well, these particular beings only get together at these certain times and then want to try to use astrology as if they're some grand knowers of astrology and talking about the cycles and things only happen because you couldn't explain that if you really wanted to. And I would know you can't because I am a sincere student to this. which makes it makes me able to see clearly the bullshit. John chapter 8, verses 1 through 11, when the woman was caught in the act of adultery, it was said that she was caught in the very act, but they didn't bring no dude. That's why I think it was when he brought that sister, they basically G'd that sister out. The beings that wanted to stone Jesus by saying, we caught this woman in the very act. What do you say we do with her, Rabbi? Because they're thinking, all right, if he say stone her, cool, we can stone him because he's been around these last 7 days talking about, he's fulfilling the Mosaic law. The best way to fulfill it is do X, Y, and Z instead of actually following the 10 Commandments. What is wrong with him? That's the Mosaic law. So we're going to stone him if he say stone her. And then if you say don't stone her, cool, we can still stone him too, because now he's going against the Mosaic law. So what Yeshua did in that moment, he knelt down and act like he was writing with his finger on the temple road, the stone temple road, to give the picture that I wrote that on those stones for Moses. And you're trying to cast a stone at me. And I casted that stone at Moses for y'all to see that you can't uphold these 10 commandments. So Yeshua stood up and said, he who is without sin cast the first stone. He ain't say don't stone her. He ain't say to stone her. He gave conditions. He gave a conditional acceptance. And the ones that were there to do the stoning left first. They left from the oldest to the youngest. And the only reason that the youngest were there because they were only going to throw stones according to following the elders. So the elders are way more conscious of their sin. Sin in Moorish Latin is sin, S-I with an accent over it, N, S-I-N, which means without. So the elders are way more conscious pertaining to them being without than them actually being those that, as they profess, being within. Some of your elders are the most deceptive beings on the planet. But you're too busy trying to and wanting to respect them. And it's not even worth it. Mother Sahar said, biscuit. Right, open 642, put a sandwich in a cup, man. That is hilarious. Brother Derek Blash Bay says, he who has not sinned cast the first stone. Indeed, and he couldn't. And if the ones that came to do the stone and left first, and that means they was the ones doing the very act. Y'all sitting there running a G on that woman and didn't bring a man. But yet when it came to he who was without sin cast the first stone, you couldn't even cast a stone because you so conscious of your sin, which was probably busting it wide open with her. Brother Tyro says, peace and love, everyone. Peace and love, Brother Tyro. Islam and JLB says, wrongful thinking. So, any other questions, comments, and or suggestions? Going once. Yeah, brothers, I think Brother Hasan's major lesson, my major lesson is to stop sharing my lunch ticket. And I get a feeling too. You know what I mean? Every time I get a certain feeling, it's like, let me just shut up. Let me not say this. Let me not do that. Let me just do X, Y, and Z, Keep it within, the circle of my loved ones and my family. You know what I mean? Because to go out and be like, hey, man, why don't y'all do this? Why don't y'all do that? People just look at it like, oh, okay, well, he's telling us this. He's a dummy then. He's a dummy, so he's going to tell us then, and we're just going to use it, and now we'll get rich off of it. And it's like, okay. I'm going to say no, but whatever. That's why, when we was laughing about it earlier, I and the bros, we were briefly talking, and I was like, speaking with my beloved mother mistress consort yesterday, and I was like, because she herself sees other people biting her style of doing things. And I said, ain't it funny how when people try to keep up with you and you only in first gear, and they just working so hard to keep up with you and you just in first gear, not knowing it's 14 other gears you about to shift to, and they only working with a 5-speed. That's why it's like, you know, I'm like, all right, I see what it is. You know what I mean? Like right now, I need to raise finance for a new laptop, right? Let's say I possibly could have had it if I wasn't so generous with how I'm sharing. And then you got people out there that take what I've shared with them freely. You know, a lot of beings near the corporation called Canada, beings near the corporation called California, take things that I've shared and then be like, yeah, don't get it from me. You wouldn't have had it if it wasn't for me. Honestly. Why not open it up so, you know, but I get it. What people fear is that the people will come to me. Why? Because that's what's been happening, especially since 2015. Why? Because no other Moors are really doing what we do unless you really exchange some finance a certain way or grab a package. Like we're different. We talk to people on the phone, things of that nature. But when I was coming up, I was like, dang, this particular, you know, fair-skinned Moor who's always with an elder and said he's responsible for bringing this elder brother out. This fair-skinned Moor from near the Philadelphia Corporation. It's like, oh, to talk, oh, you need 75 notes to talk to him. Oh, okay. Wasn't meant for me to talk to him. And again, I'm not hating. I think, you know, it's stuff, just real stuff needs to be said. And then see why people make themselves so unavailable or make it seem like they're extra busy with something. Extra busy doing what? Not unifying? Extra busy doing what? Trying to hoard up whatever wealth you can gain for yourself because you're struggling. And then try to use quippy little buzzwords to make it seem like you absolved yourself. Man, you're right, Mother Sahara. I can't duplicate the original. And I get it. I'm a baby in this thing, right? I was able to get information from other beings, but it's like, y'all see Prophet Noble Drew Ali University? You know how much, you know what I could have did with Prophet Noble Drew Ali University? And with the information on RV Bay, I could have made it so, yeah, all right, look, these people ain't got it right. Y'all come to me for y'all information. And if you want access to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, it's this amount of finance per month. And if you want it a little lower, then transact for it for the whole year, like they do these softwares as a service websites. Oh, you like Canva? Cool. Well, if you want Canva Pro, just give this per month. Really? Oh, you like this other software as a service? Well, if you want to use that particular option pertaining to that software, why don't you upgrade? You know, it'll be this per month, or if you give this per year, you'll save 45%. However, you got Moors out there and elders that have taken what I provide through Prophet Noble Drew Ali and things that I help assist them to put on certain thumb drives. You think I've seen any finances from any of the thumb drives? Mm-mm. I remember when I used to have people mail me their thumb drives, or I say, if you want a fresh thumb drive, cool. Send me the finance and I'll order it. Matter of fact, which thumb drive you want? Point it out. Oh, you want that one? Okay. Well, send me the finance. I'll transact for it and I'll have it sent to my location. That's if I just didn't want nobody having my location where, you know what I mean, wherever I am. But if it was somebody that, you know, I know they already know my location. Oh, look, man, oh, you want that? But you wherever you traveling, cool, man. Order it, have it sent to my location. I'll fill it up and then I'll send it to you, tax a per Q. I wasn't charging anyone to fill up their thumb drives. Why? Because when my thumb drive was filled up, I wasn't being charged. So certain things, experiences with certain elders, it was great. Certain other ones, it just made me go, if you guys would have unified a long time ago instead of still not solving the sums pertaining to your egos, there wouldn't be this clusterfuck of package sellers, status correction package providers out here. Everything would be according to what Prophet Noble Drew Ali put out there. Mother Sahar says orders. Brother C. Thomas says, keeping it real, sometimes I think people take what I've done and got riches from it, right? He also says, this is him speaking, C. Thomas saying, you know, he thinks people have taken what he's done and, you know, they got riches from basically from his ideas. He also turned that assumption of his to a positive note. At least they got the message. Yeah. However, it's a little different when beings don't think with an altruistic mindset. And it's like, well, you're an astrologer, aren't you, Hasan? So you know that people are there. Oh, I get that. I totally get that. I get that completely. However, I also know you're not bound to your astrology. I know you can evolve your chart. Why? All you got to do is do the key thing. All these things, astrology, tarot, all these, they're just tools. Everything we're experiencing here in these spacesuits called bodies are just tools. It's all we really have to do is properly use our will. Knowing wholeheartedly that which we care to manifest by properly using our will. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. All right? Open 642 says templates, right? I guess they're selling the templates also. Is that what you mean? People selling templates or, yeah, well, look, I remember one time a brother had shared some documents with me and he was like, yeah, I got it from this so-called popular Moor. And when I got it from him, he was like, in order for me to get it, he was like, those are just two of the documents that was in the drive. And man, he charged me $75 for that drive. I was like, and this was back in 2016. I guess that traveling more needed some finances. So JLB says, set the intent for sincere use of one's will, period. That's it, that's all. That's all. That's it. All the so-called belief systems or religion, astrology, numerology, tarot, anything that's called magic or occult, now all that is just tools to help ye strengthen ye will. Do as thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. So your lower self should be operating in love, up, you know, because it's under, right? So it's upholding. Love under is upholding will. It's not even complicated. It's not even, oh, that's an Aleister Crowley. It's not just Aleister Crowley. It's written that Aleister Crowley got that from AWAS. Cool. While at the same time, Prophet Noble Ali is getting those same lessons. So I don't have to sit here and be like, oh, well, now I got to be a worshiper of these beings. And that, no, it's the answer is probably use your will. Manifest. That's what it is. You know, trust I'm not sharing my lunch ticket by saying so. See, Thomas says, different when you have facts that they really dirty, not to compare that with separating the wheat from the chaff. Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, it's chapter 12. And soon we'll get to chapter 12. And people are, is it chapter 12? Chapter 9. It's chapter 9. People are still solving their sums. Right? And sometimes for me, dirty Moors are worse than niggas. Dirty Moors are worse than niggas. Questions, comments, and or suggestions going twice. Brother Sean?
I'm good, broski. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm ready to go eat. I hear the little one.
Great, baby.
Check him out. Yeah. So with that being said, let me think. This is where I and Brother Sean say, be yourselves and donate, guys. We're going in on the solar ingress into Libra for Intuition Monday, next day, right? Tomorrow, right? Going in on that, guys. With that being said, I'd like to thank you all for joining us. We want you all to rest and recharge well. Enjoy your victuals. You're going to get yourself something to eat. I know I'm about to. And we'll see you all tomorrow here on 7 Hill Star, All Rights Reserved YouTube channel as we go in on Intuition Mondays Global Testimonies to get that. When we put all the testimonies together, it's a full delineation. Some also call it a synthesis pertaining to the energy as it's expressed across the planet, right? Pertaining to Sun ingressing Libra, right? And with that being said, guys, let's see. Any questions, comments, and or suggestions going thrice? Brother Derek Blashbay says, say it again. Peace and love, respect. Mother Sahar says, sincere gratitude, Brother Hasan and Brother Sean. Peace and love to all. Indeed, beloveds, we're going to do our invocation now. Brother Sean is going to do the invocation now, guys. All you have to do is extend all 5 appendages on your left hand, right? Just the index and middle on the right, all right? You stand on the 45, all right? You stand on that 45 facing east, which is metaphysically symbolic. Pertaining to going within. All right. So with that being said, Brother Tyro says it's always motivational being here, brother. And sisters, right? Brothers and sisters, indeed. And Open 642 says gratitude. Slim Herban gives his Moroccan flags for the peace and love. Also, indeed. Devon Bay says Islamism, Muslim, peace and love to all worldwide. Indeed. So you guys, 10 on the 45, 5 on the left, 2 on the right, and you can repeat after Brother Sean either aloud or in your heart. Islam.
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 Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My God.
My guide.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Through his holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Noble Drew Ali.
Oh, Drew, Ali. Amen. Guys, thank you all so much for joining us. Brother C. Thomas says, to reiterate, the intent one has is not is not the mistakes one makes. Got you. Indeed, indeed. Guys, enjoy ye victuals, right? Make sure you get the sustenance that you need. And guys, we'll see you next day, right? Monday. All right, we'll see you all Monday, which is the 11th September, right? 2023, right? We'll see you all on that day. All right. And rest and recharge well, guys. All right. Don't share your lunch ticket. This is where we say, on behalf of Brother Hasan Ghaziel Bey, Brother Sean Mel, Brother Terrell Bey, the Exalted Cyclops, Brother Corey Bey, and Brother Armawala Bey, is where we say to ye all, namaste, 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 y'all. Islam, Islam, Islam. Peace and love.